Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another interesting session of Telangana State Model Schools webinar series. In this physics webinar series, in the continuation of current electricity, we have today our presenter, D.V. Ramana Rao sir, PGT Physics, Telangana Model School and Junior College, Elagandal, Karimnagar district. Sir, in his previous sessions, has dealt about Ohm's law, resistance, mobility of electrons, drift velocity, the various aspects of resistance like series combination of resistance, parallel combination of resistance, and various other physical parameters related to resistance. In this unit, in this session, sir will be discussing about the new concept of EMF. You know about cells and you know about batteries. We'll be using it in our daily life. So what is there in the cell which makes which gives the energy? So EM of the cell, what is the combination of the cells? What are the various things associated with EMF? In detail, sir will be covering. This will be a very interesting session. Children, please be alert, be focused, and go through the presentation and have an interesting session ahead. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, madam.
Please go ahead with your session.
Thank you. Thank you very much, madam. Good morning, children. I hope all of you are doing well. And this is the third lesson of current electricity. So in the previous sessions, we discussed the various things of current electricity. And we are going to discuss a new topic that is about a cell. Are you ready, children? Right. Let us move. So before going to discuss, let us try to recap what we discussed in the last class. So in the last class, we discussed about Ohm's law in terms of J and E, that is current density and electric field intensity. Ohm's law on the basis of electron drift, about the mobility of the charges, that's what electrons, temperature dependence of resistivity, types of resistors, resistor color codes, and combination of resistors. So these are the topics that what we covered in the last class. And about the important formulae, E is equals to rho J, J is equal to sigma into E, sigma is equals to N E square tau upon M, that is conductivity. Resistivity is M by N E square tau, a very important formulae, all these. And mobility is drift velocity by electric field intensity, and temperature coefficient of resistivity, and series combination of resistances and parallel combination of resistances. So these are the topics we discussed in the last class, and whatever the formula that you are seeing on the screen, they are very important formulae. And coming to the topics that what we are going to cover today. So today we are going to learn about a cell, electromotive force, internal resistance, cells in series and parallel. So first, we'll try to learn about what is a cell. So you might have the knowledge of a cell and a battery. So first we'll try to learn what is actually a cell. So a device for producing electric current. So we need something to produce electric current. In general, power stations are the sources of the energies. Hydroelectric power stations, right? And atomic power stations, thermal electro power stations. So these are all the power stations which are the sources of the energy for the alternating current. So we are going to get the current from those power stations. They are going to produce the electrical energy. So locally, a cell is a device which can produce a small amount of current. Sometimes you can use it for large amount of current production also. So a device for producing electric current by chemical action. So this is important. So here the action is chemical action, right? So you are familiar with cathode and anode. They are made up of with some chemicals. So chemical action is going to take place inside a cell, which is the reason for the production of electric current. So what is a cell? A device for producing electric current by chemical action. So you can see a cell here. You can see the electrolyte, cathode and anode. And if cathode and anode are placed or dipped inside an electrolyte, then electrolysis is going to take place and electrons are going to move from one plate to another plate, which leads to flow of charges. That already you are familiar with this one. So what happens if charges flows, especially what happens if electrons flows from one place to another place? So you can see in the diagram, electrons are flowing from this plate and they are moving to this plate. So flow of electrons leads to electric current. Of course, the direction of flow of electrons and current direction are opposite. That already you know. So if electrons are moving from this point to this point, if electrons are moving from this plate to this plate, this is the direction, then the current direction will be opposite. Okay. So this is about a cell. So basically cell is a device which can produce electric current. What is the principle involved in? A chemical action. So chemical action means what? What is the chemical action here? So the electrolyte is dissolved, it is splitting into ions. So electron flow leads to electric current. Now, so we'll have a different kind of cells in our daily use. So one kind of cell is known as a primary cell. The second one is a secondary cell. So basically, cells in electricity are going to divide into two types. One is primary cell and the second one is secondary cell. So what is the principle involved in primary cell? So in primary cell, the chemical energy converts into mechanical energy. So chemical energy converts into mechanical energy. So chemical to mechanical means what? Inside the cell, electrodes will be there, anode and cathode. They are made up of some chemical components. With the action which is going to take place inside the cell leads to mechanical energy. That means with that cell, we can do the mechanical work. Okay, we can run a toy car with the help of a cell. So toy car, running of toy car is a mechanical energy, right? So chemical energy is converting into a mechanical energy, which is a primary cell. And secondary cell, which can also known as a storage cell. Storage cell means it can store the electrical energy. So electrical energy is stored as chemical energy. You are familiar with the batteries inside the mobile phones, in our cell phones. Frequently we are going to use it for charging. Is it right? So what is going to happen while charging? The electrical energy is stored as a chemical energy. And whenever we want, we can make use it as again electrical energy. So electrical energy stored as chemical energy in secondary cells and it converts into electrical energy again. So that is a major difference between a primary cell and a secondary cell. So primary cell, chemical to mechanical, secondary cell, electrical energy stored as chemical, and then it again converts into electrical energy. So you can see the primary cell structure. So already you are familiar with these kind of cells. Okay, so Daniell cell, Lecland cell. So these are the examples for the primary cell. Okay, And this is the cell that which is used to store the electrical energy. So primary cells cannot be recharged. We cannot recharge those. And whereas the secondary cells we can recharge. We can recharge and you can use it again and again. And the examples for primary cells are Daniell cell, and examples for secondary cell are nickel and iron cell. So lithium ion cell is also an example for the secondary cell that which we can use it in our mobile phones. Okay, so this is about the basic structure of the cell, the primary cell and secondary cell, and the conversion of various energies, chemical to mechanical, electrical to chemical, and then electrical. So this is about the structure and the conversion of the energies basically inside a cell. Understood, children? Coming to a battery, there will be a lot of confusion between a cell and a battery. So what is a cell and what is a battery? In the previously we discussed about the cell. Cell means we are going to have a cathode and anode. Now what is a battery? Battery means two or more cells connected and used as a single unit. Depending upon our requirement, how much amount of electrical energy we want, based on that, we are going to select the number of cells. So two or more cells connected and used as a single unit, that is going to be used as a single unit, then that is said to be a battery. So battery means it is the combination of more than 2 or 3 cells. And this is the usual symbol used for a battery. For a cell, we are going to use only one positive electrode and one negative electrode, positive terminal and negative terminal. But for a battery, we need more. So this is usually a symbol of a battery. We will get in circuits. So if this kind of symbol is there in the circuit, that is the indication for the battery. If anywhere, if you see this kind of indication, this kind of symbol in the circuits, so that indicates it is a battery. So this is the symbol for the battery. And usually you will see a battery, the positive terminal of the battery and negative terminal of the battery. So all of you are familiar with a battery. And now what is the capacity of a battery? Right? So nowadays, the lot of mobile companies are giving different kind of specifications. So 5000 mAh battery, 6000 mAh battery, 4500 mAh battery. What is mAh? So that is the capacity of a battery. So how much it can store, how much amount of charge it can store, because we are going to charge the battery. While charging, what is happening? It is going to store the charges. So that is the capacity of a battery. So what is the capacity of a battery? The ability to store charges. Right? Already you learned in capacitors. Capacitors are the devices which can store the electrical energy in the form of electric charges. So what is the capacity of a battery? So the ability to store the charges is known as the capacity of a battery. Then the capacity of a battery is measured in ampere hours, AH. So A stands for ampere and H stands for hour. So ampere hour is the capacity of a battery. So that is the unit. 5000 mAh means 5000 milliampere hours. Okay, 6000 mAh means 6000 milliampere hours. That means 6000 milliamperes per 1 hour. 5000 mAh means 5000 milliamperes per 1 hour. That is the consumption of the current. Okay. So this is about the battery and the capacity of a battery. Right. Students, now you can see we have three components here. One is a resistor. We have positive terminal of the resistor and negative terminal of the resistor. This is positive and this is negative. So positive terminal means high potential. Always positive terminal means high potential and negative terminal means low potential. This is negative terminal. Now I am going to give a good analogy to understand the concept of the flow of current inside a resistor. Okay, you can see a water tank. You can see a water tank. This is a water tank, and water is stored. And if you allow the water to flow down, so according to by nature, according to the gravity, the water is going to come down without an external source. So why the water is coming without the use of external force or external agent? Because it is at high pressure. The water is at higher altitude. That means the water is at more height from the ground, so that it will be at high pressure. So fluids flow from high pressure to low pressure. That is the convention, that is nature. So fluids has to flow from high pressure to low pressure. That already you learned in fluid mechanics in first year. Okay, so here we are going to have a faucet or valve. So if you open it, you can have a flow of water. In the same way, heat energy flows from high temperature region to low temperature region. You can see heat always flows from high temperature region to low temperature region. There should be a temperature difference, then only heat flows. There should be a pressure difference, then only fluid flows. So now you can imagine there should be a potential difference, then only the electric current is going to flow. So this is a very interesting analogy to understand the flow of current. So to flow water, high pressure to low pressure, for heat, high temperature to low temperature. Similarly, electric current from high potential to low potential. So we need a potential difference. So who are going to create that potential difference? So that we are going to learn now. You can see another diagram here. So you can compare these two. So very interesting example. Here you can see we have a circulation of water here, a valve, and here we have a battery. You can see the symbol of the battery here. We have two cells. That means it is the combination of cells leads to a battery. And here we have a resistor. So you can compare these two, right? Observe carefully. Here we have a pump, and in place of pump we have a battery. In case of a pump we have a battery, and here water is going to circulate. Water is going to circulate, and here current is going to circulate. So current is going to circulate whenever we switch it on. So if switch is on, now the switch is off, it is open. If you switch on the circuit, then what happens? If you switch on the circuit, the electric current is going to flow. So if you open the valve, water is going to flow. So water will come down spontaneously, that means by nature, but will the water go upward direction? No, water cannot go in upward direction, again is the gravity. So it needs an external source. It needs an external source. So here a pump, a motor, in general language we can call it as a motor. So with the help of a motor we can pump the water to upstates. So water is going to move to upstates with the help of a motor. So similarly, electric current is also going to move from low potential to high potential. That means by nature, electric current is going to move. You can see this is a positive charge. Positive charge to negative charge. Current is going to flow. But negative charge means low potential. So current cannot go from low potential to high potential. Is it right? So there the battery has to do the work in the same way that pump is doing here. The same way how much work is doing by the pump, in the same way the battery is going to perform the work. So what we are going to call that work, right? See, you can see a beautiful fountain here. So the water which is at high, that water at height, that can come spontaneously because of gravity, but in the circulation of water, with the help of pump or with the help of motor only, the water will go up. So here the water is going to circulate. The circulation of water for the entire circle is going to take place only with the help of a motor. Without a motor, the water is not going to circulate. Without a battery, the current is not going to circulate continuously. So here the duty of the pump is to circulate the water. There the duty of the cell is circulate the current throughout the circuit. Right. Now we are going to learn what is electromotive force. So the amount of work done by a cell, this is what I want to explain to you. The amount of work done by a cell, the cell is doing the work. So the amount of work done by a cell in moving a unit positive charge. So every charge has to move through the resistor and as well as through the battery. So for that, the battery has to do the work through it from lower potential to higher potential. Just now we saw the battery has to do the work to pass a positive charge from negative terminal to positive terminal, because a positive charge cannot go from negative to positive. For that, battery has to do the work. So whenever, if you connect a battery, the battery has to do the work on a positive charge. So the work done by the cell is known as electromotive force. So basically electromotive force is the work done by the cell. On what? On the charge, positive charge. So electromotive force is represented with the symbol epsilon, that is equals to work done upon charge. Small amount of work done upon small charge. So to move a charge, we have to do the work. That means the cell has to do the work. So what is the definition? Amount of work done by the cell is EMF. What is the mathematical formula? Work upon charge. And units. Already you know, you learned in electrostatics. V is equals to W by Q. Potential difference is equals to work done upon the charge. So same unit. The unit for EMF is also volt. So this is electromotive force. So every cell is going to have its own electromotive force. Every cell. So usually in our daily life, we'll see a cell which is used in remote. There you can see 1.5 volt. So 1.5 volt is the EMF of that cell. That some of the cells that which we are going to use for project works. So you are going to use 9 volt cell. There you can see 9 volts. 9 volts is the electromotive force, EMF of the cell. So whatever the specification is given as 1.5 volts or 6 volts or 9 volts, that is EMF of the cell, electromotive force of the cell. Now you can see the cathode and anode. So there the work done by the battery in circulating the current is known as electromotive force. So basically electromotive force is the work done by the battery or work done by the cell. Now you can see inside a battery what is happening. So battery is doing the work. So battery is doing the work to allow the charge carriers to pass through it. You can see this is an animation. Yeah. Now next concept is internal resistance of a cell. So already we learned about the resistance in the last class. Resistance means what? That is the obstruction, which is going to oppose the free flow of electrons. That is external resistance. That means we are going to connect in a circuit externally. Resistance means it may be a bulb, it may be a fan, it may be a tube light, anything is going to be a resistor. But now the concept is internal resistance of a cell. So already you know what is a cell. A cell is going to have a EMF, electromotive force. Now another component of a cell, which is internal resistance of a cell. You can see this is a cell, positive terminal and negative terminal. The electromotive force of the cell is epsilon, EMF, and resistor is connected. You can see I am connecting a resistor to this one. So this total combination is known as cell. So every time if you want to represent a cell, you have to represent a cell along with internal resistance. So always a cell is the combination of EMF and internal resistance. Every cell is going to have EMF and internal resistance. So for the given cell, which is, you can see it on the screen. What is the EMF of the cell? EMF is epsilon. And what is the internal resistance of the cell? That is small r. So this is the internal resistance of a cell. Then what is the definition? So inside a cell, we have electrolyte. Is it right? Already we discussed inside a cell, we are going to have an electrolyte. So that electrolyte is going to offer some resistance to the charges or to the current. So the resistance offered to the flow of current, while current is flowing through the electrolyte, that electrolyte is going to oppose the current. It is going to give some obstruction to the current. So the resistance offered to the flow of current by the electrolyte. So internal resistance is the property of the electrolyte. It is going to depend upon the nature of the electrodes. Right? So the resistance offered to the flow of current by the electrolyte of the cell is known as internal resistance of the cell. It is represented with small r. And internal resistance varies from cell to cell. No two cells are going to have same internal resistance. So different cells are going to have different internal resistances. And another interesting thing is, as long as you are using a cell, suppose if you brought a new cell and if you are using in your remote, and after some days the cell is going to be discharged. So what is happening in the process of discharging means the internal resistance increases drastically. This is very important point. Internal resistance increases. EMF is not going to change. EMF is always constant. There will be no change in the work done by the battery, but internal resistance is going to increase. So what happens if resistance increases? Obviously, the performance of the cell is going to decrease. So that we are going to see in the coming sessions mathematically. So with the usage of battery, the internal resistance increases. Nothing is going to happen to EMF. So as internal resistance increases, the cell is going to become weak. And now we are going to discuss a very important topic, that is the potential difference at the cell. So what is the potential difference? So how to calculate the potential difference? So discharging. So you know what is charging and discharging. Discharging means we have to use the electric current from the cell. We have to make use of the current with the help of some devices. Now you can see, children, this is a cell with EMF epsilon and internal resistance R. This is the structure of a cell. Always you have to represent with EMF and internal resistance. Now I have an external resistor. You can see capital R is an external resistor. External resistor means, already I told, it may be a bulb, it may be a fan, it may be a motor, anything. External resistance, that which we are going to connect to the cell. Okay, so we are connecting external resistance to the cell. This external resistance is also known as load. We are giving some load. Okay, so what is external resistance? External resistance is capital R. You can see a cell with EMF epsilon, internal resistance small r, and an external resistance capital R. Now complete the circuit by connecting wires. I am completing the circuit. So now the circuit is closed. You can see a closed circuit. So now what is our topic? Discharging. Discharging means we have to draw the current from the cell. We have to draw the current from the cell means this is the positive terminal of the cell. This is the positive terminal of the cell, that is high potential. And this is the negative terminal of the cell, which is low potential. So now we are drawing the current from the cell. So that yellow color arrow indicates the current. The current is coming from the positive terminal of the cell. So current is coming and it is circulating through the resistance, and again it is coming to the battery. So this is how the battery is going to be discharging. That means we are drawing the current from the cell. So this process is known as discharging. So in this case, what is the potential difference at the cell? Okay, so what is the potential difference at the cell? At the terminals of the cell. That means at the positive and negative terminal, what is the potential difference we have to calculate? So already we have EMF. But whenever external resistance, external load is connected and current is passing through load, then we can have a potential difference across the battery, which is different from the EMF. So now we are going to calculate that potential difference. So as you know, electric current is equals to, according to Ohm's law, electric current is equals to total EMF by resistance. Here you can see capital R and small r. Small r and capital R are connected in series. They are connected in series. As you learn, series combination is R plus R. Now I am simplifying this one. This is only the physics part. The remaining all is mathematics. Simplification. IR plus IR is equals to epsilon. Epsilon is EMF here. And as you know, I into R is the potential difference. We learn the potential difference plus IR is equals to EMF, and V is equals to EMF minus IR. The very, very important formula. The potential difference, very important formula, children. Make a note. You can make a note of this formula in your notebook because we are going to solve a problem. So at that time, this formula is going to be useful for you. So potential difference V is equals to EMF minus I into R. What is V? Potential difference at the cell. R, terminal voltage at the cell. Epsilon means EMF of the cell. I, current circulating through the circuit. And small r is internal resistance. The terminology, every term, potential difference at the cell, EMF of the cell, current through the circuit, and internal resistance. So this is a very important formula for the potential difference at the cell in the process of discharging. Now, while charging, so what happens while charging? Charging means we have to give the current. We are going to charge it, is it right? We have to give the current to the battery. The battery with internal resistance R. This is the external resistor, and complete the circuit. Now we are charging the battery. You can see current is going toward the positive terminal of the battery. You can see, children, current is going toward the positive terminal of the battery. So current is going toward the positive terminal of the battery means we are charging it. So this is known as charging. So in charging, this is the direction of the flow of the current. So this is how the current is going to flow while charging. In case of charging, the potential difference is going to be EMF plus IR. And this is generally you can expect while charging, the potential difference will be more at the battery. In case of when it compared to the discharging. So discharging, V is equals to epsilon minus IR, and while charging, V is equal to epsilon plus IR. Okay, you are going to learn how we got this equation after the completion of Kirchhoff laws. Okay, so we can prove it very easily with the help of Kirchhoff laws. So V is equals to epsilon plus IR. This is the formula for the potential difference while charging. So the only difference between charging and discharging is V is equal to E plus IR in charging and minus IR in discharging. Okay. Now we'll have a problem. Okay. You can see an example problem here. A battery of EMF 10 volts. A battery is given, a battery of EMF 10 volts and internal resistance 3 ohms is connected to a resistor R. So what is given? EMF is given, internal resistance is given, and connected to an external resistance load is also given. Then if the current in the circuit is 0.5 ampere, if the current in the circuit is 0.5 ampere, calculate external resistor. This is the question. Okay. And what is the terminal voltage of the battery? Terminal voltage means what? Potential difference of the battery. So we can call it as potential difference or terminal voltage. Both are same. So try to read the question again, children. A very important question. A battery of EMF 10 volts and internal resistance 3 ohm is connected to a resistor R. If the current in the circuit is 0.5 ampere, calculate external resistor R. And what is the terminal voltage? Terminal voltage means potential difference of the battery. Okay. Now, see, we have to know, is it charging or a discharging? Is it charging process or discharging process, right? So now, see children, I'm going to solve this problem. Observe carefully. So we have a battery of EMF 10 volts. So EMF is given as 10 volts, right? And internal resistance means what? Small r. Small r is given as 3 ohm. This is the symbol for ohm. And connected to an external resistance R. So now we'll see. This is a battery, right? And internal resistance is given here. This is small r. This is battery with EMF. And this is external resistance. Right. So when external resistance is connected, if the current in the circuit is 0.5 amperes. So whenever a battery of EMF is connected to this load resistance, we are going to draw the current. So this is the current that we are drawing. So this is discharging. So in case of discharging, already we know, in case of discharging, what is going to happen? What is the potential difference? What is the potential difference? V is equals to, and I is equals to E or EMF by small r plus capital R. This is the first formula. Current is equals to EMF by small r plus capital R. This is equals to I. I is given as how much? 0.5 ampere, you can see. So current is given as 0.5 amperes. Current is 0.5 amperes. So substitute the values. Current is 0.5 amperes. 0.5 is equals to EMF. What is EMF? 10 by external resistance R plus internal resistance is 3. So everything we have except R. So do the simplification. So 0.5, I am simplifying it. 0.5 into R plus 3 is equals to 10. So R plus 3 is equals to how much? 10 by 0.5. So 10 by 0.5 is how much? 20. So 10 by 5 is 2, 10 by 0.5 is 20. So R plus 3 is equals to 20. So then what is R? R is equals to 20 minus 3, which is equals to 17 ohm. So this is the method to find external resistance. So this is the process of discharging, because we are drawing the current from the cell. Current is going to circulate throughout the circuit. This is the way. So I is equals to EMF by total resistance R and R. So if you substitute all the values and simplify, and after simplification, you will get external resistance as 17 ohm. So we got external resistance as how much? So external resistance as 17 ohm. So this is the answer for the first question. You can see, children. Okay. Now, what is the terminal voltage of the battery? Terminal voltage of the battery means what is the voltage at the battery? So at the battery, what is the voltage or potential drop or terminal potential difference? So this is the process of discharging. So already we have a formula in discharging. What is that? V is equals to epsilon minus I small r. So substitute what is V, that we have to find. What is epsilon? It is given as 10 volts minus I. How much amount of current? 0.5, right? Into what is internal resistance? It is how much internal resistance? 3. So this is equals to 10 minus 1.5. So therefore, terminal potential difference is equals to 10 minus 1.5. How much? 8.5 volts. So this is the potential difference or the terminal voltage. So very important question for board exams and as well as for competitive exams also. So first we have to identify whether it is discharging or charging and make use of the formula so that we can find load resistance and as well as terminal voltage. Right, children? So you can go through this problem again while you are going revising the video, right? So now meanwhile I am going to erase. Now, grouping of cells. Our next topic is grouping of cells. So, dear children, in electrostatics, you learned about capacitors, series combination of capacitors and parallel combination of capacitors. C is equal to C1 plus C2 plus C3. 1 by C is equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2 plus 1 by C3. In the last class, we learned about resistances, series parallel. R1 plus R2 plus R3 in series. 1 by R is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3 in parallel. So they have their own advantages, right? Now we are going to learn what happens if cells are grouped, or is it possible to combine cells also? Yes, definitely it is possible. So in what ways we are going to group the cells? So that is our topic. So we are going to connect some cells, that is known as grouping of cells, like capacitors and resistors. So our topic is grouping of cells. So like resistors and capacitors, cells can be combined together. They are going to combine together in an electric circuit. So they are going to connect in electric circuit for calculating voltages and current in a circuit. So in some problems, they'll give more than 2 or 3 cells also. We are going to learn how to solve the problems when grouping of cells and combination of cells are given in the problem. Right, children? Now you can see the different kind of voltaic cells, Lecland cells are connected. You can see in the diagram, they are connected through electrolytes. Right? So this is known as combination of cells. We are going to learn detailedly what is combination and how many types of grouping of cells is there. Right, children? So we are going to learn about series grouping of cells and parallel grouping of cells. So two kind of combination, series grouping and parallel grouping of cells. Then the first thing is series combination of cells. So how cells are going to be connected in series and what happens to the current. Is it going to increase or decrease? What is the help? If you are combining the cells, means some advantage should be there, is it right? Or otherwise, we are going to use a single cell. Instead of single cell, we are combining the cells, means some advantage should be there. So we are going to learn what is the advantage of combining the cells. You can see different kind of cells or batteries. You can see, children, here, this is the positive terminal. This is the positive terminal of the this is the positive terminal of the battery, and which is connected to negative terminal of the next battery. And again, the positive terminal of the second battery is connected to negative terminal of the third battery. And you can see the positive of third is connected to negative of fourth. The positive of fourth is connected to the negative of fifth. This continues. So this kind of combination is known as series combination. Positive of one battery is connected to the negative of the next one. And then positive of the next is connected to the negative of the next battery. So this combination is known as series combination of cells. End to end, positive end to negative, next positive end to negative, positive end to negative. So these kind of combinations, I think you might have used it in your project works somewhere to get more electric current. Is it right? So series combination of cells. Now let us consider this is one cell with EMF epsilon 1 and internal resistance R1. I'm not indicating internal resistance here. Internal resistance is a part of a cell. Okay, that means internal resistance is also there, but I am not drawing that. But it should be the combination of EMF and internal resistance. First cell. This is the second cell with EMF epsilon 2 and internal resistance R2. Third cell with epsilon 3 and R3. So these are the three different cells with EMFs and internal resistances. We have three cells. Now we have to discuss about series combination. So how to join them? You can see. So this is the combination. You can see, children, the positive of the first one is connected to negative of second. Positive of second is connected to negative of third. Like that. So this kind of combination is known as series combination. Now we have three cells and they are combined. Our aim is to get a single battery after the combination. That is which should be equivalent to a single battery, right? With EMF epsilon and internal resistance R. So this is how we connected the three cells with external resistor, because the combination of resistance should be connected to external resistor. Because if you want to make use of the batteries or if you want to make use of cell, definitely a load should be there. Who are going to use the electric current from the cell? Who are going to use here? It may be a fan, it may be a light. Like, so a load resistance is connected to the combination. So then that load resistance is going to use that electric current. Now the combination, this is the combination. So the combination is EMF equivalent. So I replaced all the three cells. You can see in the above diagram we have three cells and we replaced three cells with a single cell, which is equal to EMF equivalent. And these resistances are also connected in series, which is replaced with R equivalent. And this is external resistor. So this is how we can get a single cell out of the combination, which is equivalent cell, which is known as which cell, Nana? Equivalent cell. So this is the combination. Now, as you learned in the previous session, in series combination, current is same. Potential difference is going to be divided. So I told very clearly the formula for the potential difference at the cell is what? V is equals to epsilon minus IR. That's why I told very clearly, very important formula. V is equals to epsilon minus IR. So now at the first cell, this is the first cell. So at the first cell, potential difference is equals to V1 is equals to epsilon minus IR1. Why I is same? Because it is a series combination. Similarly, in the second cell, V2 is epsilon 2 minus IR2. Third cell, V3 is epsilon 3 minus IR3. So these are the potential differences at the respective cells. It is very easy to write if you know the formula, that what already we learned, V is equal to epsilon minus IR. Without that, we can't write. Now, as you know, the potential difference is equal to the sum of the potential differences at the various cells. So V is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3 because it is the series combination. Substitute all the values. It is mathematics. Okay, so it's all mathematics. Just you substitute all the values. V is equals to epsilon 1 minus IR1 plus epsilon 2 minus IR2 plus epsilon 3 minus IR3. So just I substituted the values. Okay, so this is V1, this is V2, this is V3. Now, so I am simplifying further. So I am adding E1, E2 and E3. We have 3 EMFs. So you can see algebra E1, that's what epsilon 1, epsilon 2, epsilon 3, all are positives. So epsilon 1 plus epsilon 2 plus epsilon 3 minus, I took I common. So I took minus I common. So here we have minus IR1, minus IR2, minus IR3. Okay, so I took minus I common, so that R1 plus R2 plus R3. So we simplified it. Now you can see an interesting equation. So we can write this as V is equals to, this is total EMFs only, right? So I can write it as EMF of the combination, that is EMF equivalent minus I into R equivalent. This is R equivalent because resistances are connected in series. So already you know what is the equivalent resistance in series, R1 plus R2 plus R3. So R1 plus R2 plus R3 is R equivalent. So this is R equivalent. So V, potential difference at the combination of the cells, is epsilon equivalent minus I. You can see children, this is again in the form of V is equals to epsilon minus IR. V is equal to epsilon minus IR. Epsilon equivalent IA into R equivalent. Now you can see what is epsilon equivalent. Epsilon equivalent is epsilon 1 plus epsilon 2 plus epsilon 3. You can see this. What is R equivalent? R equivalent is R1 plus R2 plus R3. Now this is the combination, and already I told epsilon equivalent is how much? Epsilon 1 plus epsilon 2 plus epsilon 3. So very important equation. So whenever the cells are connected in series, you can say this is which combination? Series combination. Whenever cells are connected in series, the total EMF is going to be epsilon 1 plus epsilon 2 plus epsilon 3. This is the total EMF or equivalent EMF. If 10 number of cells are there, you have to add all the 10. Epsilon 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus till 10. N cells are there, we have to add all the N. Okay. Now what is R equivalent? Series combination. So R1 plus R2 plus R3. Now what is the current? So how to get the current? I is equals to, we are drawing I amount of current from the combination. So from the combination we are drawing the current. So how much current we are drawing from the combination? So you can see children. So this is the combination cell. This is the combination cell. So we are drawing I amount of current from the combination. So this is the current. So this current is going to flow through the combination. This is the current. So which is going to circulate. So this is the current is going to circulate. So what is the formula for the current in this case? What is the EMF of the cell? Epsilon equivalent. plus what is the resistance? R equivalent and R. These two are in series. So R equivalent plus R. So this is the combination current, the current in the combination of the cells. So this is the way in which we can find the electric current through the combination. So this equation is very, very important. So everything is there. How to calculate epsilon equivalent? Epsilon 1 plus 2 plus 3. How to calculate R equivalent? R1 plus R2 plus R3. That's it. Okay. And sometimes sometimes in competitive examinations, they'll give the problems in this way. This is a cell, right? Positive and negative. This is another cell, negative and positive. And this is another cell, positive and negative. They'll give like this. This is epsilon 1. This is epsilon 2. This is epsilon 3. Children, observe carefully. This is also series combination. This is also series combination. Now you can see carefully. Positive, this is positive. Positive is connected to negative. Again, this is positive. Positive is connected to positive. Positive is connected to positive, not negative. So in such a case, if positive is connected to positive, then you have to write EMF equivalent as epsilon 1 plus epsilon 2, because this combination is correct, plus to minus, but this is connected to plus to plus. So we have to reverse the third one to get the correct combination. That means we have to change the polarity. We have to reverse. So for that, this will become minus E3. So this is important. Whenever polarity is not correct, whenever the polarities are given reverse, series combination means plus to minus, plus to minus, plus to minus. Whenever it is not connected to plus to minus, there you have to take minus for that EMF. Rest of the thing, everything is common. Because resistance, no direction. Resistance will be added, right? So if wrong connection is there, plus is connected to plus, there you have to take the minus. Remember, children. So this will be asked in competitive examinations. So concentrate, right? This is a very important formula. The total current through the combination is equals to epsilon equivalent by R equivalent plus R. This is in which combination? Series combination. Now, if n identical cells are connected in series, n cells, n may be 5 or 6 or 10 or 2 or 3, any number. So if n identical cells are connected in series, what happens? So I'm extending the number of cells to n. N identical cells. Identical cells means what? All are same. Same EMF you can see in the diagram. So they are going to have the same EMF and same internal resistance. Okay, internal resistance is R. EMF, epsilon, epsilon, epsilon. And load resistance is capital R. Now you can make use of the previous concepts. This is a single cell. Single cell with EMF n times to epsilon, because epsilon we have to add all. How many cells are there? N cells are there. So total EMF will be n times to epsilon. And internal resistance n times to R, because they are connected in series, right? So series means EMFs should be added, resistances should be added and connected to external resistance. So this is the equivalent circuit to the above circuit. N cells are connected. N cells EMF is N EMF, that what N epsilon, internal resistance is NR, connected to external resistance. Now, what is equivalent EMF? N times 2 EMF. What is equivalent resistance? N times 2 R. Now, in the previous slide only, we discussed what is current through the combination. EMF equivalent by internal resistance equivalent plus R, external resistance. Substitute the values. Substituting the values, N epsilon by NR plus R. So this is the formula are the combination of the cells, n identical cells. So this is the formula, n epsilon by n small r plus capital R. This is also important formula when n identical cells are connected in series. Now there should be some advantage in the in the earlier session only I told very clearly, if you are taking combination of cells, some advantage should be there over a single cell, or otherwise we would have used single cell only, right? So what is the purpose of using so many cells? There should be some advantage. So what is that advantage? We are going to see now. If external load is very much greater than internal resistance, that means observe, external resistance means what? This load resistance. So if this load resistance is very high, than this internal resistance, that means internal resistance is very small. The battery is going to offer very small internal resistance, and load resistance is very high. That means a very high load is connected to the circuit. Now what happens? If R is very much greater than NR, then NR can be neglected because R is very much high when compared to NR. So we can neglect NR. That is approximation. We are going to neglect it in the equation. Observe carefully, children. If capital R, external resistance, is very high when compared to NR, then it can be neglected in the equation. So we have N epsilon by R. So we are neglecting, is it right? We are neglecting this one. You can see we are neglecting this internal resistance because this is very high. For example, this is some 1000 and this is 0.01. Nothing will make difference, right? 1000 plus 0.01 will give 1000.01. So that too, that is in the denominator. So it won't make much difference. So if very high, if external resistance is very high and internal resistance is very small, you can neglect this one. After neglecting, this is the formula. So now this is the total current through the combination. Total current through the combination. Now what is the current through a single cell? What is the current through a single cell? If you use only a single cell instead of all the cells, if all these cells are not there, we are using only a single cell. So what is the current through single cell? We know epsilon by R. Why epsilon by R? Again, internal resistance is negligible, right? So internal resistance is negligible. So it is epsilon by only capital R. Now I is equals to, from above two equations, we can write I is equals to N times 2 I series. Sorry, I single resistor. The total current through the combination is equals to N times 2 a single cell. So this is the advantage. This is the advantage. So what is the condition for the advantage? When cells are connected, when identical cells are connected in series, a very important topic, children. When identical cells are connected in series, if load resistance is very high, then we will get the current N times. N is the number of cells. If 10 cells are connected, we will get 10 times the current. If you connect 20 cells, you will get 20 times more current. If you connect to 20 cells, we will get 20 times when compared to single cell. Okay, so this should be the condition for make use of the series combination effective. Okay, if R is very large when compared to internal resistance, what is the advantage? We'll see. So series combination will give maximum current. How many times? N times. If 10 cells are connected, 10 times. 50 cells are connected, 50 times. You'll get that much amount of current. So this is the advantage of connecting cells in series combination. So I hope you understood, right? Now coming to another session, that is parallel grouping of cells. So till now we discussed about series grouping. Now the parallel grouping of cells. So how they are going to connect? Now in this connection, you can see all the positive terminals are connected to a common wire, a common terminal, and all the negative terminals are connected to a common metallic wire. So this combination is connected across the resistor. This combination is going to connect across the resistor. So all positive terminals to one end, all negative terminals to one end. That is parallel. Previous concept, positive to next negative, positive, next negative, positive, next negative. That is end to end. End to end combination is series. All positive to one end, all negative to another end. Which combination? That is parallel combination. A cell of EMF epsilon and R1 is internal resistance, and another cell with epsilon 2 and R2. Two cells. For our convenience, I am taking two cells without making much complicated mathematics. I took only two cells for parallel. So they are connected in parallel. You can see two negative ends are connected to one and positive ends are connected to another end. And their EMFs and internal resistances are shown. This is external resistor. And this is equivalent. Already we learned in series combination, right? We have to replace two cells with a single cell with EMF epsilon equivalent and resistance R equivalent, external resistor capital R. The two circuits are same, that what you are seeing on the screen. The second one, the right side one, is the equivalent to the left side one. Both are same. We replace two cells with a single cell, right? Now, as you know, when cells are connected in parallel, or resistances are connected in parallel, potential difference will be same. Potential difference will be same at the combination. So as you know, see, once again, the formula is very, very important. V is equals to epsilon minus IR in case of discharging. Today's total class is going to depend on this formula. The total today's session is all about this formula. V is equals to epsilon minus IR. So at the first cell, potential drop is equal to epsilon 1 minus I1 R1. Current is also going to be different. Potential difference will be same. Why? Because the current is going to split, as you learned in parallel combination. So I1 is equals to, what is I1? Again, simply mathematics. It is simple math. You can simplify it. I1 is equal to epsilon 1 minus V by R1. Similarly, what is I2? Epsilon 2 minus V by R2. This is I1 and I2. Two currents through the cells. And in parallel combination, you know, I is equals to I1 plus I2. Is it right? So I is equals to I1 plus I2. You can understand this, right? I am going to draw here. So this is actually I1 current is coming from this cell. I2 current is coming from this cell. These two are going as I through the resistor. This is the combination current, I. So total I current is going to pass. And again here the current is going to split. So this is how the current is going to circulate in the combination. So I1 is going to split, I is going to split as I1 and I2, and I1 and I2 are going to combine to give I. So this current is going to circulate in this way throughout the circuit. So that's why we have to add the currents. I is equals to I1 plus I2. Okay. Now, I'm substituting the values. Simply substitution of I1 and I2. You can see what is I1. I substituted here. What is I2? I substituted and I simplified. So after simplification, you will get I as epsilon by R1 plus epsilon 2 by R2 minus V into 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. So this is I is equals to the formula for I. Now coming to the simplification part further. So this is I is equals to epsilon 1 by R1 plus epsilon 2 by R2 minus V into 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. So again, I am simplifying it. V into 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 is I1 by R1 plus epsilon 2 by R2 minus I. So if you simplify, and finally you will get V as this thing. This is going to the formula for V. After simplifying, you will get V as epsilon 1 R2 plus epsilon 2 R1 by R1 plus R2 minus I into R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. So this is the formula after the simplification of the above equation. If you simplify the above equation, this equation. So if you simplify this equation, you'll get finally this one. You'll try it. Okay. So you can try, you'll get this derivation. So I skipped that step. Okay. So now you compare it with the general equation. So what is V? Again, it came the very important formula. V is equals to epsilon minus IR. So it is in the form of V is equal to epsilon minus IR. So epsilon equivalent minus IR equivalent. So if you compare these two equations, this equation and this equation, then what you can write? Epsilon equivalent. Dear children, see epsilon equivalent is epsilon 1 R2 plus epsilon 2 R1 by R1 plus R2. What is R equivalent? R1 R2 by R1 plus R2, because they are connected in parallel. So parallel combination, we know R equivalent is equals to R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. In series, R1 plus R2. In parallel, R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. So these two are very, very important formulae in parallel combination. So epsilon equivalent is epsilon 1 R2 plus epsilon 2 R1 by R1 plus R2. R equivalent is R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. Only for two cells. Right? So make a note of this formula, children. Epsilon and R equivalent. Now what happens if n cells are connected in parallel? Like as similar in the case of series. So these are the cells which are connected in parallel. Now, as you know, in parallel combination, potential difference, that is EMF, is constant. So how many number of cells are there? It doesn't matter. So EMF will be equal to individual EMF. This is important. In series, EMF is going to added. In parallel, EMF will be same. So it is irrespective of number of cells. So R equivalent will be R by N. R equivalent will be how much? R by N. If 2 cells are there, R by 2. If 3 cells are there, R by 3. 4 cells are there, R by 4. But irrespective of number, EMF will be always epsilon only. So in parallel combination, the EMF will be same at every cell. But R equivalent will be reduced by N times, R by N. Now, you know the formula. Already we discussed this formula. I is equals to what? Epsilon equivalent by R equivalent plus R. So substitute the values. You will get epsilon by R by N plus R. Now, I am simplifying this equation again. That is, I is equals to N epsilon by R plus NR. Okay, you can take LCM N, and if you simplify the equation, you will get N epsilon by R plus NR. So this is the final equation for the combination of N cells. Now, Is it advantageous? So in what way it is going to have its own advantage? In the previous context only, I told we are connecting n cells means there should be some advantage. So let us see what is the advantage and what is the condition to make use of this combination. So the condition is if capital R, that is external resistance, is very small. Now see the condition carefully, children. If external resistance is very small when compared to internal resistance. External resistance means what? External resistance means capital R. If capital R is very small when compared to internal resistance, that means it can be neglected. It can be neglected. So we are going to neglect NR. This is the condition. N is very small. So the equation will become N epsilon by R. So from the above equation, we can write it as N epsilon by R. Now, with a single cell, what is the formula for single cell? Single cell current is equal to epsilon by R plus R. That already we know. So in single cell also, we have to neglect capital R. We have to neglect capital R because it is very small. So after neglecting capital R, what happens? Current in a single cell is epsilon by small r. So now we can write is as I is equals to n times 2 I to a single cell. So the current that what we are getting with the combination, the current which we are getting with the combination is n times 2 that of a single cell current. So if you connect n cells, we will get current as n times. Okay. That means the current is going to be multiplied by those many times, that has number of cells. So this is the advantage of connecting cells in parallel, but it is preferable only if this condition is satisfied. What is that condition? If R is very, very small. That means if load resistance is very small, then only this condition is preferable to get maximum current. So we'll see that point. So this is the important point. And if R is very small, then parallel combination will give maximum current. So to give the maximum current by the combination of cells in parallel, the external resistance should be very, very small. Right, children? So this is today's session. So let us try to recap. So what we learned in today's session. So we learned about cells, different kind of cells. What is the terminology involved in the cells? Which kind of cells are chargeable? Which kind of cells are not rechargeable? And what is the main component, main basic property of a cell, which is electromotive force, a driving force, which can drive the charge carriers throughout the circuit, entire circuit. And about internal resistance, another interesting characteristic of a cell, which can decrease with the usage of the cell. And cells in series and parallel combination. And recap of formulae. EMF is equals to the work done upon the charge to move the charge from negative to positive, negative terminal to positive terminal. Discharging, very, very important formula. In almost all the cases, we use this formula. Almost all the cases. Discharging is equals to V is equals to, while in case of discharging, potential difference is equals to EMF minus I into R. V. What is V here? Potential difference at the battery or at the cell. EMF of the cell. Current in the circuit. Internal resistance of the cell. This is the most important formula for the entire session. And V is equal to E plus IR. That is what epsilon plus IR. This is in case of charging. And net current through the combination is whether it is series or parallel. Whether it is in series or parallel, net current through the circuit is EMF equivalent by R equivalent plus external resistance. For series combination, this is the formula. EMF will be N times, internal resistance will be N times, and external resistance. Preferable condition to get maximum current. R is very large. R should be large. That means load resistance is large for series combination. And this is parallel combination. Net current. R is very small in parallel combination will give maximum current. So these are the important, very important formulae that would what we covered in this class. So let us try to answer these questions, children. So you can answer all these questions after the completion of this class. You can go through the video again and you can answer the questions. Define electromotive force. What is EMF? And under what conditions is the current through the parallel group of cells maximum? I discussed, right? Under what conditions is the current through the series grouping of cells maximum? And what is internal resistance of the cell? Not on, it is of the cell, right? So this is about the today's session, children. I hope you understood well. And again, we are going to come with an interesting session, a very, very important session for the coming class. That is Kirchhoff laws and Wheatstone bridge, a very important and expected question for 2021, right? Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for such a wonderful explanation. It was really a beautiful explanation. Children, in this session, you have learned about cell, battery, the various aspects involved in the battery. Battery is a very important device for powering electrical devices such as torchlights, flashlights, mobile phones, even electrical cars. So the intricacies involved, the physical phenomena involved in cell and battery, sir has dealt in detail the series and parallel combination of cells, the effective resistance, everything sir has covered. A very beautiful session indeed. Please go through this session, prepare your own notes and solve as many problems as you can for determining the internal resistance of a cell and the effective resistance when the cells are placed in series or parallel combination. And please solve the questions given in the evaluation. Thank you, sir. We will meet in another interesting session. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, madam.